is essentially that it's important to reflect back on what we've learned as students. I think that, in the busyness of our school lives, it's easy to kind of let things go unnoticed, whether it's your emotions, whether it's things you've learned from other classes, or what you've learned from each other. So I think that the biggest thing that I've learned is definitely remembering to reflect and remembering to think about how we've learned, not just school material.
So one thing that I'm going to take away the most from this class that I'm going to remember, even after we're done with this semester, is the rule of 9, which basically states that you're going to have a lot of crappy jokes that aren't going to be very funny in what you do, but there's always going to be that one that is going to be the diamond in the rough of all the failures. And so I'm going to remember that when I'm like trying to be funny with my friends, but I'm also going to remember that when I'm in business school and I'm in my sophomore year, and I'm going to experience a lot more failure than I'm used to, but I'm going to find that one thing that is going to really push me over the edge in what I want to do with my life. And so I'm going to tie it back to the rule of 9. And so even though it's technically about humor, I can apply it to almost anything. And so it was just something that's going to be really memorable for me going on into the rest of my college years.
Through meeting with my conversation partner these past few weeks, I've just learned to be more confident when communicating with people who are different than I am and from different cultures than I am. And I've just learned that to be more open to ideas that are different than my own. My communication partner is from Korea, and her life is extremely different than mine is, but I've been able to have an open mind towards the way that she lives her life.
I really enjoy working in the team I was in for this class, mostly because a lot of the group work that I do now has to do with big documents, just because I'm a business student. Big presentations, big documents, big research, and I think I really enjoyed the group work for this class just because it was a lot more relaxed. Not to say that we didn't work as hard, but it wasn't as intense of work. There wasn't as much research and stuff like that. I also enjoyed working with Kat and Sam. As a junior, it was fun to get to work with 2 freshmen and kind of revisit how I used to think about college and how I would approach group projects and stuff like that.
So my favorite thing about working in a group project this year was that I always had Catherine and Ty with me. Sometimes we would stress and not really sure what we would do for our projects, but then we always had each other to joke around when we were watching Caddyshack videos or whatever. So it was a lot of fun to always have them for every assignment that I had this year. And without them and in the small group, it probably wouldn't have been as fun doing all of these projects that we had, because we had a lot, but love my small group.
Working in the same group this whole semester has been quite interesting. It's been very eye-opening to work in a group, as I'm a nursing major and we don't usually get to work in groups. And Sam and Tyler have been quite the partners. I'm a planner. I like to know when things are going to happen, and they're not. But it all worked out fine, and it was great working in a group.
My favorite class this year was definitely the class where Connor Dedeker stood up and told the joke about 2 midgets on a business trip. I thoroughly enjoyed that joke.
So my favorite class this semester in LCCI was definitely the compilation of all of us giving our favorite comedy film. I love that because we just got to watch these really funny clips and see everyone sort of fight for their favorite film. We had Caddyshack, and I really love that movie, so that was a lot of fun for me to share that with everyone.
So what?
So what? So let's dance!
I was alone, I never knew what could left me.
Now, what the devil?
Then we touched, then we sang about the loving things.
The man's a menace!
All night,
Cut that off!
every night.
But She's the Man, it's a movie that not a lot of people think of as the most traditionally funny movie, but it was cool to just see everyone get really invested into it and really want their movie to win. So it was a lot of fun.
My favorite class this semester was when we filled in the caption for a comic, and Emily Nicholson's was the one with the waiter and the dog, and the dog said he would order the penne because last time he had spaghetti, and this bitch was all over him. Classic. It was great. Best class.
Something specifically that I learned this year in LCCI was that A, Callie likes me most out of any of the other students, and B, that Dr. Williams looks a lot like Ben Stiller from The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Refrigerator repairman who never came. I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna call you later.
Okay.
The ice, Jace. She moves like a woman. I'm Walter. Mitty.
I learned this semester something specific is that Nora Ephron and John Hughes are really influential people in comedy, even if not everyone knows who they are.
Most women at one time or another have faked it.
Well, they haven't faked it with me.
How do you know?
Because I know.
Oh. Right. That's right. I forgot. You're a man.
What is that supposed to mean?
Nothing. It's just that all men are sure it never happened to them, and most women at one time or another have done it, so you do the math.
Well, shake it up, baby, now. Shake it up, baby. Twist and shout. Twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby, now. Come on, baby. Come on and work it on out. Work it on out. Well, work it on out. Work it on out. You know you look so good. I'm so good.
One thing specifically that I've learned this semester is the concept of Schadenfreude, and it's interesting because now, like, when someone falls, I recognize that I laugh because of Schadenfreude.
Just throw it?
Yep.
Oh! God!
Hey, hi, Dr. Williams. How are you doing? Okay, you said, what do I like about Dr. Williams? Pretty much everything. What I like the most about him is he always has a positive attitude. And I think that goes pretty far for me.